So this is the envelope that you get when you get your PUC license from the Public Utilities Commission. And so inside, so it's the court document, it's all signed and everything saying, okay, you are now officially, you know, you have your PUC. And along with it, they send you this. And so this tells you how to mark your vehicle. How to put the PUC numbers on there. So no motor carrier shall operate any motor vehicle upon the public highways of the state until the following information is painted in contrasting colors on both sides of the motor vehicle. So the motor vehicle's carrier name or initials, and then the PUC number. And then also for passengers of passenger vehicles of 7 or less, you're allowed to use a magnet that has that information on it.
Yeah, because it might be a private car.
So, and it's very specific about how large the letters have to be. So we're going to be going into Hanauma Bay. So this is one of the places where we're really restricted about what we can do here. When you go into Hanauma Bay, the road kind of splits. You go to the left and it's the parking lot where normal people go. Commercial activities are not allowed to go there. So commercial tour vans are not allowed to go there. They have a special place for the commercial tour vans to the right. So there's the commercial lot where you're only allowed a 15-minute stop. And so by city ordinance, tour vans are only allowed 15 minutes there. So by city ordinance, tour companies are only allowed a 15-minute stop here. So this is Coco Crater Botanical Garden, which is part of the city and county of Honolulu. It's one of 4 botanical gardens that are controlled by the city and county of Honolulu. You can get a permit that allows you to go to the city and county parks. And so out of the 4 botanical gardens, 2 of them you're not allowed to bring commercial tours to. And so this is one of them. It's really beautiful. Right here at the beginning, you've got the plumerias. And then if you go further up, there's trees and plants from all over the world. There's like some really freaky looking trees from Africa. And there's a cactus garden, which is awesome. It's got really awesome cactus. It's kind of like the one at KCC. And what's really cool is this little riverbed right here. Sometimes I find rocks in here that have olivine in them, little green crystals. So if you look in the rocks, crystals, it's olivine, which comes up with the magma from the center of the earth. Okay, so this is the Makapu'u Lighthouse Trail. Right here where this school bus is parked, some of the tour companies will park right there and have their tours come in here. Because if you read the sign here, notice this is a brown sign with yellow letters, so this is a state park. It's Kaiwi Scenic Shoreline. And so you see a lot of tours online advertising that they'll bring you here to go on the hike to the Makapu'u Lighthouse, or to the tide pools, or to Queen's Bath. So Kaiwi Shoreline Trail. So prohibited by Hawaii Administrative Rules, state law, motorized vehicles, alcoholic beverages, commercial activities. So tour companies are not allowed to bring you here. So from here, you see that peninsula way over there? That's Kaneohe Marine Corps Base. And so to the left of that, that's Castle Point, Kalama Beach Park, Kailua Beach Park, and then Lani Kai is on the other side of that point right there. And then that's Waimanalo Beach there, that long white beach. And then this is Makapu'u Beach. So the current law now prohibits tour companies from taking anybody to any of the beaches from here at Makapu'u Beach all the way to the Marine Corps base over there at that Castle Point right right over there. So this whole coastline here, Makapu'u Beach, Waimanalo Beach, around the corner there, Lani Kai, Kailua Beach Park, Kalama Beach Park, all the way to Castle Point. Tour companies are now prohibited from taking people to the beaches. The other side of that point is Kaneohe Bay, where there are no beaches. So the next beach where a tour company would be allowed to take you to would be the one at Chinaman's Hat.
Oh yeah, that park.
Kualoa Beach Park.
That's a long ways.
So this is Makai Pier. So this is another place that tour companies are not allowed to bring you. Used to be right here, the Japanese tour vans would stop here to take their people diving, scuba diving, and they would go out right there. When I got my permit that allows me to go to city and beach parks, which is here, I don't know if you can see it in that light, but there's a paragraph right here that even with the permit, there's a list of places that you can't go, even with the permit. So, and this is one of the places. So it's Makapu'u, let's see, excludes Kailua, Kalama, Waimanalo, Kaiona, which is coming up next, Kaupo and Makai Pier, which is where we are now, Makapu'u, Nanakuli Beach Parks, malls, and undeveloped park areas with no restrooms or parking lots, such as Mauna Lahi Lahi Beach. So this is Kaiona Beach Park. It doesn't list commercial activities as being off limits here, but it is. The law was passed in 2017 in January. It's a really beautiful beach. And a lot of times you can see turtles in the water here. Guys, come this way. So this is a really good place to see turtles. I mean, you can actually see them from the shore. You see how there's the black coral in there. So you can see the turtles in there too. So this is where a long time ago I used to bring my tours as a plan B. There's a turtle in the water right there. He just went over that black coral head, so he's not standing out as much, but there's a turtle right there. And so this is where I used to bring my tours in the winter time as a plan B, when the surf was too large on the North Shore to go snorkeling up there. And so this was a really great place to snorkel, and we would almost always see turtles. But one time I was here, actually when I first started coming here, there was an auntie that would tell me that I couldn't park in the parking lot over there, because this is a city and county beach park. Yeah, this is a city and county beach park. And so she told me, oh, you're not allowed to park here. And I was like, what do you mean? You know, the sign doesn't say no commercial activities. And she goes, yeah, but you know, they passed that law in Kailua, and that applies to here too, which it didn't, and I knew that. But you know, the auntie was nice, so I parked on the outside. She told me I can park out here because the side of the road is DOT. So this is city and county beach park, but they're managing it. But what it is this is Hawaiian homestead land. And so, you know, I would just park on the outside, and then we would walk through. We'd get our snorkel gear, and we'd go in the water and snorkel, and we'd come back. One day, as we were setting our gear down to get ready to go in the water, the locals started really harassing me and telling me that I couldn't be here and stuff. And then the one guy, he started really harassing one of the people on my tours, you know, asking him, oh, what are you doing, blah blah blah, you know, all this stuff. So I told the guy, you know, Hawaiian guy, I told him, I said, hey Ra, where's the aloha? He goes, fuck aloha. And so they threatened to call the police on me. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna call the police. So the police showed up, and then when the cop got here, you see the sign here, this is city and county. So let's go down here. So when the police got here, I went over to the window to try to ask him, what is the rules? And he says, oh, well, just listen to them. They know what's going on. Talking about just the Hawaiians who practically live in the park over here. I mean, they keep it really beautiful, but they treat it like they own it. And he said, yeah, just listen to them because they know what's going on. And I was like, no, I want to hear it from you. What is the law? And he goes, do you want me to write you up right now? And I said, well, if you were to write me up, what law would you say that I'm breaking? And he didn't know. He just kept threatening me. Finally, a woman came over with an iPhone. She pulled it up, the city ordinance that said that you have to have a permit. And I thought, oh, well, I'll just go get a permit then. So I went and got a permit, and then wouldn't you know it, on the permit is a block of places that you're not allowed to go to, even with the permit. Wow. And this is one of them.
Beautiful beach.
So if you come right down here, man, it's a really beautiful beach. You can see turtles all the time. So I still come here on my days off. My friend Kim, when we come here, there's a boat channel right over there, and we go out through the channel, and you can snorkel around this way, just where those people are there, out there in the water there, because there's kind of a reef right there that's really shallow, but just the other side of that reef is really good snorkeling. Also, this inside area here, it's almost like a kiddie pool, and there's always little turtles in here. But we also like to go now over to the far right. It's like a swimming pool over there, man. It's awesome for snorkeling.
I'm jumping this water right now.
Yeah, it's really inviting. And so a lot of times you can just stand here on the beach and you can see turtles right there in the water. There's one right there. There's a turtle right there.
Oh yeah, there's
right there.
Come on over.
Yeah, that's a really little one.
Mr. Turtle.
So this is Wade of Wade's World Hawaii. Poor man's guide to Hawaii. Illegally taking people to the beach in Waimanalo. Today, August 2nd, 2017. Wade's World Hawaii. That's Wade in the orange shirt sitting in the driver's seat. And this is Waimanalo.
Caught him hard. Caught in the act.
So right up here, across from the polo fields, is the entrance to Waimanalo Bay Beach Park. There we go. Waimanalo Bay, Department of Parks and Recreation, City and County of Honolulu. Blue signs with white letters. So, I have the permit to go to the city beach parks, but that new law that they passed allows tour companies to come here. This is the one beach on the East Coast that you're allowed to come to if you have the permit. Most people don't even know about the permit, and so if they come here, they're coming without a permit. But I do have the permit, but the permit only allows us to come here on the weekdays. So we're not allowed to come here on the weekends or state and federal holidays. You'll see a lot of limos down here. This is a really popular spot
for weddings,
for wedding photos.
Another illegal tour bus.
So you can't tell if it's a tour bus or not.
What's it saying on the commercial vehicle?
Yeah, it doesn't have any writing on it at all.
So we found
it has a.
What else would if somebody's not taking that for their family outings?
Yeah, I mean that's possible.
Got a camera inside.
It's possible.
Yeah.
Well, so we've hit Wade's World and whoever that is.
So this place here, the locals call it Sherwoods, like the Sherwood Forest.
Oh yeah.
Because of all of the ironwood trees.
Beautiful.
Yeah, there's so many places to go here.
Okay, so this is another place that I used to bring my tours, but it's kind of technically not allowed. Sometimes I would stop right there. There's guava in the tree. Sometimes I would pick guava for my tours. But so this is the YMCA right here. And so this is going to be Ulupo Heiau. And the reason you can't come here is because it's a state a state wayside. And so over here to the left is one of the oldest heiaus on the island. And so I would bring my tours here, and there's those 3 panel boards down there that tell you the history of the place. And so I would tell them about the heiau and the Menehunis, and then I would take them down in, and there was a lot of opportunities to teach them about agriculture. There's a kukui nut tree here. There's taro fields down there. There's coconut trees and hala trees. And so this was a really nice place to bring people to.
Actually, people built that.
And
by hand.
Every once in a while, there would be a Hawaiian guy here that would tell me that I'm not allowed to come here. But then I would see lots of other tour buses coming here. And so I continued coming here. But, you know, now that I'm learning about the places where we're not supposed to go to, you know, I'm not going to those places anymore. Stay off heiau. They don't want you walking out there onto the heiau. And so the reason you can't come here is because this is a state wayside, and commercial tours are not allowed to go to state parks. Bike rentals in Kailua. So it's really popular with the Japanese tourists to rent these bicycles and then ride all over Kailua.
Little island.
Coming up on the left is going to be where Island Snow is, and there's a kayak rental place here that what they used to do was they would put all the kayaks on a trailer and then bring the trailer down to the beach. So if you've rented a kayak from them, they would bring the trailer down to the beach, and then you could just get your kayak from the trailer. But when they passed the law about no commercial activities at the beach parks, the guy isn't allowed to bring the trailer to the beach park anymore. So, you know, he was like going to have to go out of business when they passed that law. But luckily he came up with a way to get around it. He made these little carts to put the kayaks on individually. And so it's basically just an axle with 2 wheels, and then you put the kayak on it and you pull the kayak down here. But I would imagine that his business has gone down, because who the heck wants to pull a kayak all this way to get to the beach? And so this is Kailua Beach Park. So before they passed that law, whenever you would drive past here, you'd see 3 or 4 of the big green Roberts Hawaii buses, the big 60 passenger buses parked in there. And so the residents here, you know, they complained, you know, that they live here and they can't go to the beach because the beach is so crowded, because the tour buses were just unloading tourists here in droves. So Kailua was the first ones to pass the law banning commercial tours from coming to the beach. And you know, I had the argument with them on Facebook, on the Facebook page My Kailua, that if you ban the tour companies from bringing people here in, say, like 15 passenger vans or tour buses, that the tourists, they want to come here because this place is listed as the #1 beach in America.
Yeah, 2 years
and
in
so,
a row. Yeah.
So they want to come here. So they're just going to rent cars and come here. And so now, instead of one 15 passenger van bringing, you know, 15 people here, you're going to have 3 or 4 rental cars taking up 3 or 4 parking spaces instead of 1 parking space. So that's one of the things that they complain about, is that they can't get parking. Because look at all this parking over here.
People are just renting cars and coming
here.
Yeah,
this is all not legit parking over here on this side. Really? This is also the bus stop where that guy got in trouble because he threatened that lady because he got caught unloading tours here and having them walk across the street.
Is there a tour van there?
Oh,
was it?
Yeah. Looks like they're hiding. They hide behind the trees over there.
And so there's Kailua Beach Park, and then further down is Kalama Park, and then over there where the sand ends at the peninsula, that's Castle Point. And then in front of us is Lani Kai.
Yeah, I like
so you got the 2 islands out here of Lani Kai. So all of this beach is banned as well.
Look at, oh my goodness, it's incredible.
See all the bikes, all the Japanese on the bikes.
Look at this place. It's like a fucking... And no, I understand why they're so upset. There's so many fucking people here.
And then straight in front of us, if you look on top of the hill, that's the
pillbox.
That's the pillbox hike.
That's where Obama goes, right?
Yeah.
Hike, isn't it? Yep.
Oh, it is?
Yep.
Oh, they look like they're having fun, though.
And so this is where you would go for the pillbox hike.
Oh, this is where you go up the street, Colleen.
Over here to the right, you see where that wall is? People used to park on the right side of the road there, and they put that wall in there to prevent you from parking there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What's this?
So people used to park right there where those bushes are.
Mid-pack.
People used to park here, and they put the wall in purposely to prevent people from parking here. So there's no place for you to park in order to go to the pillbox.
Design policy.
You see, even here, there was parking here, and now they've put up this. So they don't want anybody coming
What's this
here.
Country club.
This is the way to get to the pillbox hike right there.
Boom.
So coming up here to the left is going to be, for some reason, this one street right here. I mean, there's many public right-of-ways to the beach here, but for some reason, this one coming up is the one that's really popular. This is where everybody tries to park. You go through this one public beach access. A long time ago, before they passed the law here, this is where I would park. And you know, the people that live here would come out and like take pictures of your license plate. I mean, at that time it wasn't illegal, but they would.
It's illegal on the weekend.
They would really. No, now it's illegal anytime.
Oh, what about all this parking?
Oh no! I mean it's illegal for commercial activities.
Yeah.
But on state and federal holidays now, they do make it illegal. So you can't park here whenever there's like a 3-day weekend.
It would be nuts.
Yeah, 3-day weekends. They put up signs, no parking everywhere around here now.
Everyone throws a huge party
On the Lulu.
So here's the public right-of-way where everybody goes to the beach. This is the most popular public right-of-way for some reason. There's several of them, but if you look right down here, this is where everybody goes to Lanikai Beach.
Lanikai Beach, #1 beach, USA.
Man, look at all the people. These people, you think all these people live here? These cars, or are they people using the beach?
There was one time that I was giving a tour to these old ladies. It was their 3rd time using my service, and I had already showed them the whole island.
So let's go back.
And I was like, well, let's see, what else can I show you? I said, well, I'm not allowed to take you to the beach at Lanikai, but I can at least show you where it is. So I said, well, drive through and I won't stop. So I was driving through this area right here, and then this is back when me and Wade were still sort of friends, even though I never got any reciprocity from him for all the help that I gave him. But he did let me know that the My Kailua Facebook page had posted a picture of the back of my van driving through here. Then they attached a picture of 15 Japanese girls, ABC bags in hand, just like that. Just coincidence. I was going to say that anyway, but these people just happen to have their ABC bags. Climbing the pillbox hike. Saying that that was my tour, that I had taken 15 people, Japanese, to the pillbox hike. Number 1, I don't speak Japanese, so I don't do Japanese tours. Number 2, I don't have a van that would hold that many people.
Yeah, that house up there.
And I didn't even stop. And so they blasted me all over that page. Hundreds of people making comments on there about, you know, what a tour. Yeah, talking bad about my company when I hadn't done anything wrong.
Everyone's over at Birch Island today.
I guess that tour van's gone that you're talking about. I didn't see it. It's not there anymore.
It was right here.
Oh, here?
No, it's
There it is.
Look, the door's open. Who's this?
License plate is NFN789.
Another one. That's our 3rd one, right?
Yeah, and it actually has the DOT safety sticker on the front windshield, so that is a commercial vehicle.
Oh, it's beautiful fucking here.
Yeah. So this is another city and county botanical garden. So this is one of 4 botanical gardens managed by the city and county. However, this is one of 2 of them that commercial activities are not allowed at. I actually came here one time just by myself in my tour van, because I had dropped some people off in Kailua. They told me to come back and pick them up in a couple of hours, and so I was just looking for a shady place to, you know, just chill out in the van while I waited on them because it was really hot. So I came in here and I was sitting in the van, and twice while I was sitting in my van, people from the park came up and started yelling at me for coming here. They were like, "How many people did you bring here?" I was like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, dude, it's just me." And I was like, "What? You're not allowed to come here?" And they said, "No, because this is it's a protected area, like a nature preserve." And they said, "We don't want a whole bunch of tourists coming here and trampling all over it."
It did rain here.
But it's really cool. A lot of times there's certain places that I had found that you can see, you know, just like right there in the grass, you'll see pigs, just right, wild pigs right there on the side of the road. And if it's rained anytime recently, the views of the waterfalls from here are spectacular. And so further down to the left, there's a lake.
This is a ham.
There's a lake down there where you can, you know, the locals will go camp. You can get a camping permit, and the kids fish in the lake.
Wow, what an amazing place. Jesus, like being in a different world.
Yeah, when I talked to the city and county
waterfall.
about the fact that we can't do tours here, oh, there's wild orchids right there. Look at that. When I talked to the city and county about doing tours here, you know, and they were talking about, you know, the fact that it's a nature preserve and all that, I was like, well, you know, I don't really want to do anything like get out and do anything. I really would just like to drive through like what we're doing right now and just point things out without even getting out of the van, and so that, you know, they wouldn't even allow that.
Historic site.
See the kiln?
Oh, wow. Man, this place is amazing. This is like a good place for people to come for a picnic.
Yeah, and we can't bring tourists here.
There's
Sorry,
nobody here,
tourists.
and there's nobody here.
Yeah.
It's empty. Was it full when you could?
No, you never could.
Never.
I was bringing people here for a little while until I found out that you can't. It's been a learning process. I mean, because when you get these permits, you know, like you get your PUC permit, there's not, you know, like a booklet or something that tells you these are all the things that you can and cannot do. You just kind of learn it on your own as you go.
Well, and I saw this on the map. I thought it was just like a little, you know, like a nursery, like where people had flowers growing for sale. I didn't know it was like a whole world. How many acres does this cover?
I don't know. You can see it from the Poly Lookout. It's pretty big. Kahua Nui.
That's overlooking the marsh. Probably. It was a marsh, remember? Probably from where the water for the marsh begins.
And so each one of these campsites is named after a plant. So this one here, Nui Pavilion. Look at the gourds. Can you see the gourds on the plant there?
Oh, cool. Are those edible?
I don't know. Oh, that's pretty. So this one is Kahua Lahua. So they have Lahua trees here. And what's really cool is they have both red and I believe the other one is yellow. You ever seen a yellow Lahua?
Red.
Yeah, red seems to be the most common one. And so there's red right there.
You definitely have to have a tent to come here because it's going to rain.
So you see on the sign there, there's the yellow Lahua tree. And you see, the thing about restricting all of these places to where commercial tourists can't come here, it leaves the number of places that they can really small and crowded. So, you know, they're getting corralled into very specific spots where if they just
The place is empty.
if they just lifted the ban on all these places, the commercial tours would be more spread out. There's a koa tree with the sickle leaves. So here we are. This is Kualoa Beach Park, where Chinaman's Hat is. And since the whole east coast, from Makapu'u Beach all the way through Kailua, is all off limits, and then there's Kaneohe Bay, where there are no beaches. This
Where are those buses over there?
after Makapu'u, this is the next place where you can come to the beach.
Oh, okay.
But it's not much of a beach. I mean, look at that beach.
Beautiful though.
There's no beach there. So coming up on the right is going to be one of the beach parks that we are allowed to go to with the permit that we have. But you know, most tour companies don't even know about the permit, so they don't have the permit. But this beach park right here, this is also a nice plan B for calm water, for swimming in the winter time when the waves are really big on the North Shore.
Mm-hmm.
But usually in the summertime, the locals have just got this place that's full of tents. But just recently, one of our tour vans was broken into here. They busted the driver window and took all the stuff. But otherwise, it's a really nice beach to go to. So this is another place that we can go. It's another city beach park. Right over there is the surf spot called Pounders.
Oh, it's Pounders?
Yeah, it's kind of like Sandy Beach, where it just kind of pounds you into the sand. So that's Laie Beach Park. So city and county beach park. So we can go there with our permit.
Cameras to the ready.
So this is going to be Laie Point. This got to be a really popular place for the tour companies to come. And it got to the point where even big tour buses, like the big Discover Hidden Hawaii or whatever, you know, the white ones with the red letters that were like, you know, like 30 passenger buses were coming down here.
Wow, you're kidding.
And it's really hard to turn around at the end, and it was getting extremely crowded. And then the residents started complaining, and then
those buses.
DLNR passed out a letter letting everybody, all the tourists that come here, letting them all know that you can't come here because this is a state wayside.
Is this the point?
And there's a sign here, and there always was, that says no commercial activities. But there was so many commercial activities coming here that, you know, everybody was just like, oh, it must be okay. So
Wow, look at the rain.
so that looks like a tour right there in the white. They're loading up. Let's go see who that is.
They're not supposed to be here, huh?
Right. Climeworks. The following are prohibited by HAR 13-146. Motorized vehicles except on designated roads. Animals except service dogs. Removal of sand, rocks, or plants. Alcoholic beverages. Commercial activities. Camping except in designated campsites with a permit. Open fires. Golfing. Littering and dumping. So right there in the middle, commercial activities are prohibited here. So you guys just saw that commercial tour van. So this,
Yeah, illegal for it.
yeah,
Like a cab.
it's a cab. So we were hoping to get here in time to see Wade's World Hawaii here. This is Laie Point. So first of all, you know, the sign here tells you that commercial activities aren't allowed to come here. But on top of that, he drives his Jeep off the road and out here. And so these tire marks here are probably from when he was just here, because it was pouring rain, and so they probably didn't bother to get out of the Jeep. It's raining on us right now, but so he drives his Jeep out here. So it's illegal to be here in the first place, and then on top of that, he drives his Jeep out here off-roading, even though the sign right here says no commercial activities. And if you don't believe me that he comes here, all you need to do is go to his website. He has pictures of his Jeeps with his tours posing out here. So no commercial activities are allowed here at Laie Point. And besides Wade's World Hawaii, another tour company that seems to come here on a regular basis is Hawaii Jeep Tours, and they also have photos of their Jeeps right out here posing on the front of their webpage, Hawaii Jeep Tours. Another new development here too, along with DLNR telling the tour companies that they can't come here anymore. They've also put up these no parking signs. There's one there, one there, and one here that says no parking anytime. So right after they put up these no parking signs, I came here and there was a guy, you know, I parked before the no parking signs start, and there was a guy that came here, and I guess he was fishing or something. He came back and there was a parking ticket on his windshield. He was like, what's going on? I was like, oh yeah, there's a new sign, no parking anytime. So here's another place that tour companies are not allowed to bring tours. This is Malaekahana State Recreational Department. So you see the brown sign here with all the things that you cannot do: alcoholic beverages, commercial activities.
Can't even smoke here.
So I used to come here when I was stationed here in the Navy. There's a cat over there. And there's Goat Island out there.
Oh yeah.
And you can actually walk out there. The water gets about, you know, waist to chest deep, depending on the tide. But it's like one of those bird sanctuaries that you're not really supposed to go out to.
I can see how they can't have tour buses here. The big buses especially. It just isn't totally...
Yeah, but look at the parking. There's a lot of parking. Look at this. See all this parking?
Nice beach over there. That's going to have an ocean. Is this where the Malaekahana cabins is, or that way?
It's a little bit further down, yeah. So look, it goes way over there.
Wow, all this parking. I guess it's busy on the weekend, right?
I don't know.
Major expeditions in charge of there you go. There's the rain guard.
So we're just passing Chun's Reef, and the traffic has come to a stop because we're coming up to Laniakeas, which is now famously known as Turtle Beach.
Title.
So this traffic is backed up because everybody's stopping at that beach to go see the turtles. So there's parking on the left side of the road, so everybody's got to pull in or pull out of the parking there. And then you got people randomly crossing the road, which, you know, the traffic has to stop for that. And so this traffic backs up for miles because
what
of
are
this.
these trees called again with the little red swords?
Well, those are umbrella trees.
Oh.
And so I don't bring my tours to this beach anymore because I don't want to contribute to the problem of this traffic. Plus,
oh my God,
we've had people give us nasty phone calls for stopping here. I got one, they left a voicemail. They're like, "You're ruining the North Shore. We saw your tour van parked at Laniakeas today." So I just don't bring the tourists here anymore. We have other places that we can go see turtles, so I just go there, and it doesn't contribute to the problem of this traffic.
Jeez.
So, a little history. A while back, the residents,
exclusive area.
the residents complained about this traffic, and so the Department of Transportation put barriers across the parking lot there so that nobody could park there. Well, a year later, the surfers who had normally parked there prior to everybody coming here to see the turtles complained and went to sue the city about that. So the city pushed the barriers back against the fence, which opened up the parking area, but then they put up signs that say no parking, stopping, standing, anything, and then people would still park there, and then if a policeman just happened to be here, they might give people tickets, but then, there's so many people parking here that they don't really even do that anymore. When they had the barriers up, they were just wearing out the side of the road here. This used to all be grass here, and you see how it's all these muddy holes now. Yeah, people just started parking on the side of the road here. But now that the thing is back open, with the barriers aren't there anymore, people are just still parking there, even though it says no parking. And a lot of times, right here, you see no parking here. A lot of times you'll have tour vans that'll stop here and unload their tours.
And move on, take a chance.
So the turtles, they come up on the sand right there. There's none there today, but they seem to all be down here eating the moss off the rocks. You see where all the people are looking into the water there. See the crowds of people staring into the water. That's where the turtles are. And then this is where the problem comes in. You got these people that are trying to pull out like this. They're blocking the traffic. And the guy's stuck in a hole now. And people trying to cross the road like this. And so that backs up the traffic.
Just see a turtle.
And so now the traffic is backed up the other way. This traffic will be backed up all the way to the light in Haleiwa. Just watch. I don't know if I'm going to keep the camera on that long, but this traffic goes all the way to the traffic light at Haleiwa.
All because
where
of
the
some
bypass
turtles.
is. Yeah.
Wow. Is an ambulance trying to get through?
Looks like a tow truck.
Crazy. You see all these homes? These should all be like luxury homes along here.
There's one house back here that the online thing says that it's $18 million. What's that app that you can look up the prices?
Zillow?
Zillow, yeah. Zillow says it's $18 million. Oh, he did.
Did he?
Yeah. So this is Dole Pineapple.
You can get Dole Whip in here?
Yeah. And so over here, there's a designated parking area for the tour vans.
Mm.
So you see this van here has no PUC markings on it, but it's not parked in the tour van designated area.
Mm.
So
Click.
what happens is this is the only place that I know of where somebody actually checks on the PUCs. The Department of Transportation, they'll sit over here, and as soon as you park and your guests go in, they come and stop you and they do an inspection. They do everything, the lights, the horn, everything. They check your registration and everything.
Is that him over there?
No, that's the parking guy.
The guy on the left with the green shirt.
So, so what happens is the people who are following the rules, who have the PUC markings on their vans, they're the ones that get checked.
Mm.
The tour companies that are illegal and have no markings on their tour vans, they don't get checked.
These people are all legal. Every single one. So without, no, with the other stuff. You know that? can park over there.
You gotta watch out.
So the illegal guys, they'll just come park over here on the non-commercial side, and then
Is that what they do?
nobody checks on them.
Oh, really? That's smart.